Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to give my official win-loss record predictions for each and every team in the NFL. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do season previews for each and every team this year as I just started my full-time job and I'm already sleep deprived enough already. So I'm going to go ahead and release my final win-loss predictions as long as there's not an injury that for some reason occurs in the fourth preseason game. I highly doubt that. No one plays in the fourth preseason game. And I'm going to elaborate on these more in my podcast next Monday as I give my NFL power rankings. So just stay tuned for that. I want to keep this video under 15 minutes. So I'll quickly tell you why I have a team going the record that I have them going. We're going to begin with the AFC. We're going to begin with the AFC East. And I have the New England Patriots going 12-4, and I really wanted to go 13-3, believe me, but I really avoid giving teams records like 13-3, 14-2, because quite frankly, I can predict 12-4 and get away with it, and then I can give a win or two to some other teams that I'm more willing to, give a couple more wins than I probably should have, to be honest with you. So I just have the Patriots at 12-4, but I could have easily went 13-3 here. I just wanted to save some wins for some other teams, but I have them being the number one seed in the AFC this upcoming year. Miami Dolphins 2-14. Sorry, I'm not buying it. I think the Dolphins stink. Okay, and they somehow went 7-9 last year. I don't know how. They somehow went 6-10 the year before with Jay Cutler. I don't know how. They keep somehow winning games, but now with Ryan Tannehill aboard and Josh Rosen, and look, Josh Rosen has a lot to offer. But the guy went 3-13 last year for the Arizona Cardinals, right? He doesn't know how to win games in this league yet, and maybe as a sophomore he'll be better at that. But he already proved that he can go 3-13 in this league. And I just look at the Dolphins and I look at their defense, and it's so young and it's full of so many unproven players. Xavier Howard is probably their best defender at this point. Cameron Wake is gone, and yes, he was getting older anyway, but he was still a guy that would give you 6 sacks and like 500 snaps per year. I just have no faith in this Dolphins team. I think they're the worst team in the league. I think they're headed for Tua Tagovailoa, and I think they know that. And I don't have faith in this new head coach, Brian Flores, either. You look at the Cardinals when they got their defensive head coach last year, it just didn't work out. I see similar things from Brian Flores, so I have the Dolphins going 2-14. Buffalo Bills 7-9, right? So it's only a 1-game improvement from last year, which is unfortunate for you, but I think the Jets got better. I think the Patriots are still far ahead from you, and it's going to be interesting. I think the Bills could surpass this. I just don't think they did enough offensively to really improve. I think the running back position stinks. It's old. LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, are you kidding me? And then we're relying on this Dave Singletary potentially? No. If they had better running backs in, I'd begin to buy into this team, but the offense just won't be good enough to be able to keep up with the defense, which still looks very great on paper. New York Jets also 7-9. I wanted to go as high as 8-8, 9-7, but I want to see how all these new pieces form and mesh together. But I definitely think the Bills and the Jets are at the same level. 1 or 2 wins will be the most that they are separated. But I think they're both miles ahead of the Miami Dolphins right now. Make no doubt about it. Move on to the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens 8-8. And Ravens fans won't like this, and that's fine, but I think they lost, a lot on defense. Darius Smith, Terrell Suggs, and Terrell Suggs was getting older, but he was still playing great last year, losing his veteran presence in the locker room. You're having a change at the safety position now, which Earl Thomas coming in you really like, but we'll see how he's able to mix with this team as well. And then offensively, y'all know, I don't have faith in Lamar Jackson long term. I think Tim's going to catch up to him, and I think it starts this season 8-8 for the Baltimore Ravens. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals 5-11, and Bengals fans feel as if they're being disrespected, and I understand that. I really wanted to go more than 5-11 here, but the problem is AJ Green's gonna miss a couple weeks, and yes, Tyler Boyd has been great, actually the past couple of years now, and especially last year, but AJ Green not being there, then Jonah Williams, he's not gonna be there for, early part of the season as well. The defense last year stunk, and it doesn't look quite better yet, at least significantly better. It's about the same win mark to me for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think, towards the end of the year, they're gonna start taking a little bit. Look at the Cleveland Browns 10-6, and I think they're gonna struggle a little bit early, but then catch fire late. I think there's too much talent on this football team, and what I really love is that it's headed by a very good quarterback right now, a budding quarterback in Baker Mayfield. He's going to have to keep those turnovers down. Don't be too much of a gunslinger, but I do like the Browns to go 10-6. However, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North, also with the record of 10-6. So it's going to be close. And when I made my Browns prediction video, I had the Browns winning the AFC North in that video. However, I've seen the Steelers in the preseason. I like how their young players are coming along. James Washington looks good. Devin Bush is already out there flying around, and the defensive line looks more dominant than ever. So I still have the Steelers winning the division, but I think the Browns will take one of the AFC wildcard spots. We move on to the AFC South. Indianapolis Colts, I have them 12-4 my prediction video, but Andrew Luck has now gone down, and they go down to 6-10. And I wanted to go even as high as 7-9, maybe 8-8 here, because I think there's still a lot of talent on this Colts team. But the problem is, I don't have faith in Jacoby Brissett. I think Tyrod Taylor is better than Jacoby Brissett. I think the coach should get on the phone for Tyrod Taylor. We saw this team go 4-11 with Jacoby Brissett, and now this Colts team is going to have a more difficult schedule than they had last year. Last year, they faced the NFC East and the AFC East. This year, they face the NFC South and the AFC West. More difficult divisions that have better quarterbacks than you, and the Colts defense is actually pretty good, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to quite be able to make up for Jacoby Brissett's fall. To me, again, he's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league right now. I mean, make no doubt about it, he was not impressive in 2017, and the roster is better, so you think he'll be better, but I just think he's a limited quarterback in this league. So 6-10 for me for the Indianapolis Colts. And this division, too, even this division, the AFC South, I think each team is just better than you right now. I really do believe that without Andrew Luck. We look at the Houston Texans 9-7. And this is because I think Jadeveon Clowney will be traded. If he is not traded, then go ahead and bump it up to 10-6, and I'll take a win away from somebody. I don't know who, but from somebody. Right, but right now it looks like he's going to be traded. I think that will take away a win from you. Not 2 wins, not 3, but a win from you. But, you know, right now the offensive line is still in flux. I'm worried if Deshaun Watson will be able to stay healthy. He has, you know, at least the past year. First year he was not. If he goes down, it's going straight down to the toilet. We're talking, it depends how early he gets injured, but we're talking one of the worst teams in the league if Deshaun Watson gets hurt. The defense has taken a step back, especially if Clowney's not out there. But Deshaun Watson, although I hate to admit it, he's proven to be legit in this league, and winning 11 games last year, starting as they did, was too impressive for me to ignore, and I have them for the wild card right now. But he has to stay healthy, and Will Fuller, hopefully he's able to get over $170 in terms of his weight and actually stay on the football field. Look at the Tennessee Titans, 11-5, and complain to your mama, that's fine. I have faith in this team. They've been a winning team for the past 3 years, and I think they're finally going to be able to take that final step. You can disagree, that's fine. Go ahead and disagree, that's absolutely fine. And then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, 7-9. I elevated them, I had them 6-10, but then hey, Andrew Luck got injured, you got another win, and also, man, I really like what I'm seeing from Josh Allen. And he's looking downright scary. My problem is, I still think your offense stinks. And I wonder, are you better than the Buffalo Bills? Why? Why are you better than the Buffalo Bills? I mean, Nick Foles is slightly better than Josh Allen. I mean, he's definitely a proven, you know, playoff commodity, but in the regular season, especially with his dead in the St. Louis Rams, and also without Chip Kelly in Philadelphia, and also without, you know, the recent, you know, coaching regime in Philadelphia, he's had his struggles. So we'll see, but right now I'm not really sure why I should have the Jaguars much better or even better at all than the Buffalo Bills. I can't really tell you, so I have them as the same record. And remember, the Jaguars are in a tougher division and they have a tougher schedule, right? So that's also why I have the same record as the Buffalo Bills. Denver Broncos, 5-11. I'm not buying it. I think Joe Flacco stinks. And the Broncos defense, it's not legit like the Jaguars and the Bills, right? So although they can make up for having a bad offense because their defenses are so good, the Denver Broncos cannot. Not with Joe Flacco at the helm, not with Emmanuel Sanders coming off of Achilles, not with Cortland Sutton not yet being a real proven number one weapon in this league, not with Noah Fant not being proven in this league yet, not without the good offensive line right now. It's okay, but it's one of the average offensive lines in the league. 5-11 for the Denver Broncos. Yes, a step back. Kansas City Chiefs, 11-5. I wanted to go 12-4. I just wanted to save a win. And plus, it's going to be hard to keep the offense as potent as it was last year. The offense takes a slight step back, and you see that reflected in the record. LA Chargers, 8-8. I had them 11-5 in my season preview video, but I had to scale back. Melvin Gordon still ain't back yet, although I think he will be. He's not yet. Maybe he's actually going to hold on to the season. But more importantly, Derwin James. I think Derwin James is one of the quintessential reasons why the Chargers took that final lead that they did last year. He's going to be out for most of the season, it looks like. Russell Okung, our left tackle, our one good offensive lineman, he's out right now. Okung, James, Melvin Gordon, and Keenan Allen's been having some injury problems as well. I'm out on the LA Chargers. Look, they had a great run, but I was looking for a reason not to trust them. I said it in the season preview video, and these preseason problems is giving me a reason enough. I'm out on the Chargers. And then Oakland Raiders 6-10. They'll be improved, but I want to see how these rookies perform, how Josh Jacobs performs, Jonathan Abram performed, and Cleveland Farrell. I've liked what I see from Cleveland Farrell in the preseason. Abram a little bit, and then Josh Jacobs, you haven't seen anything. So until I really see those guys, I can't go 8-8 or higher. Look at the NFC now. Dallas Cowboys 11-5. I want to see Zeke back. I think he's going to give up. I think they're actually going to come up to a deal, though. And I think they're actually both sides will come together and come to a deal. And then it's 11-5, and it could be 12-4 too. Again, I want to save a win here, but I think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl contender. You're going to see that reflected in my playoff video also coming this week. New York Giants 6-10. This might surprise some of you. Some of you think the Giants will be a 2-3 win team. I think they're better than they were last year. And I know that might be a little sacrilegious to say, but the offensive line's better, and Saquon Barkley's going to be more efficient, and he was already pretty damn efficient. So now he's going to be ultra crazy efficient, the best running back in the league. I think he's going to have, at least statistically, productivity, and even eye test, you're going to see he's the best running back in the league, although Zeke will eat as well, and even Todd Gurley. So it's going to be close, but he's going to be right there with him. Okay, get started. Evan Ingram, offensive line's better in the defense. You have a good rookie class coming in. Now, the rookies are going to have to show something, but I think it's 6-10. I think it's fair. I think that's about where they're going to be. I like 6-10 right now for the New York Giants. Washington Redskins, though, 4-12. Here's the thing. The Redskins were impressive last year with Alex Smith. They were 6-4 with Alex Smith last season, 1-5 without him. Now, that was with Josh Johnson, Mark Sanchez, and Colt McCoy. But now you got Case Keenum coming in. Case Keenum, who won 6 games last year with the Denver Broncos. Now, I don't think the Denver Broncos roster is necessarily better than y'all's this year, but their offense was definitely more impressive, as they had a Phillip Lindsay, as they had, at the time, most of the season, an Emmanuel Sanders and a budding Courtland Sutton. I like that offense more than I like this Redskins offense right now, where I'm not sure Josh Jackson's going to be in this league, honestly, in 2 years. Same goes for Paul Richardson, to be quite honest with you, and those are your receivers. And then tight end position, Jordan Reed will get injured, and Vernon Davis is on his last damn legs. And now Trent Williams ain't gonna play. I don't care. Some people think Redskins fans think he's gonna play. He ain't playing. That man is adamant he ain't playing. And you're telling me Donald Penn is gonna be in his stead? He's gonna be a good left tackle in his stead? I'm not buying that. I'm not believing that. This offensive line stinks. I think the quarterbacks are going to struggle behind this offensive line. The wide receivers aren't good. Jordan Reed won't be there. You know he won't be there. And then Adrian Peterson, he's old. He had a good year last year. I'm calling it. He's done. And Darius Geis, we'll see. But it's not enough for me. I think the Redskins stink. I think they've been waiting to stink. And I think the time is now. And finally, the Jay Gruden era will be over in Washington. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, 12-4. I'm in love with this team. They're stacked from top to bottom. I wanted to go 13-3, but I really decided to give another win to the Redskins here. I was just like, let me just give another win to the Redskins. That way Redskins fans aren't too mad at me for having them go 3-13, although I really considered it. Okay, we move on to the NFC North, where I have my bold prediction. 2 bold predictions, in fact. Let's start with the big one. I got the Detroit Lions winning this division. Now, you can go talk to your Skip Bayless and your Shannon Sharp and your Colin Cowherd, who are going to give you their predictable playoff predictions. But when you come to this channel, you always know you're going to hear something you didn't expect to hear. And this is it this year. I got the Detroit Lions winning this division. Now, I know Matthew Stafford doesn't win big games, but first of all, I think this is going to be a division, and this happens on average once a year lately in the past decade, where there's like a 9-win team that wins a division, all right? Sometimes even a 7. We saw 7-8-1, the Panthers win their division, I want to say in 2015, maybe 2016 actually, either one. So, maybe 2014 actually, 2014. So, I think this will be a division that is pretty flat. I don't think these teams are bad, I just don't think any of them are a double-digit win team right now. The Detroit Lions, with Matthew Stafford at the helm, right? He's had his great seasons, he's had his bad seasons, but he's coming off of a low season for him, and he usually rebounds off of that. Kerryon Johnson, budding young running back in this league, a guy that was playing great, got injured, missed the later part of the season. I think he's going to be a top 10 running back this year. I think he's going to be an absolute, fantasy stuff for some people. If they run him enough, which again was a problem. He didn't get one game over 20 carries last year. I think they're going to fix that. Kerryon Johnson, budding young elite talent running back to me. Kenny Golladay, budding young elite talent wide receiver to me. You got 2 tight ends added to this roster in TJ Hawkinson, top 10 pick, and Jesse James. You add in a slot receiver in Danny Amendola. Love the offense right now in Detroit. The offensive line is not bad. It's not, I'll say it's decent. I'm going to say it's good. I'll say it's decent. I think it's slightly above average, like maybe around anywhere from 12 to 14 if you're ranking it. Then the defense has its problems, but defensive line stacked, adding in Trey Flowers. They just recently extended their boss nose tackle Damon Harrison. They brought in Mike Daniels from the Green Bay Packers. Defensive line is loaded. You look at the linebackers, okay, they stink, but the safety position the safety position, you have a young budding player at the free safety position, and you still have big play Darius Slay at the cornerback position. I think this team, it's time, man. You always know, each and every year, there's a team that goes from worst to first. And I looked at each worst team in the division last year, and this is the only one that made any sense to me. And then when I thought about it more and more, I was like, not only is it a worst to first scenario, but I think it's just time for them. The Lions, they're not always going to be mediocre. They're going to have the occasional playoff appearance. They've done that twice in the past decade. I think they do it a third time here. I got the Detroit Lions winning the NFC North. Now, it's going to be a battle, and that's why I have 3 of these teams going 9-7 and 1 of these teams going 8-8. There's probably going to be a tie or 2 in here as well. Now, the other bold part of this is the Green Bay Packers, who I have at 8-8. Matt LaFleur, to me, was not ready to become a head coach. I am a Tennessee Titans fan. I saw Matt LaFleur as the offensive coordinator for this team. Our offense last year stunk. Now, you can say that's because Marcus Mariota stinks and the Titans stink, and maybe you have that opinion as a non-Tennessee Titans fan. All I know is our offense got worse than it was, okay? So that's not good with Matt LaFleur. Him and Aaron Rodgers already kind of butting heads, a lot of new faces. I think they have their problems. I think they win some games, they go 8-8, and they're going to be right in the mix. And again, this is the tight division I have here. This is no joke, but I just have them missing out right now. And then, who do I have making the wild card? We'll get into that in a second, but I have the Vikings and the Bears 9-7. Vikings, I moved down from 10-6. I think I had 10-6 in my season preview. Didn't love what I saw in the preseason from them. Looks like they still have their chemistry issues. They're not quite ready to fly yet, but we'll get into them more in a second. So then we move on to the NFC South. Atlanta Falcons 9-7. They'll be better than they were last year. Their defense is healthier, and that's pretty much all that they needed. Will they be able to win games consistently with this division being improved? Like, each team in this division is going to improve, except for the New Orleans Saints. I think we could all pretty much agree with that. So it's going to be tougher to win within this division, and I think their schedule is tougher too as they face the AFC South, and that's not easy to face right now, although it just got easy with Andrew Luck being out. We'll see with them if they make a wild card. As you see, I have a bunch of teams going 9-7 in the NFC. You're going 9-7. You're going 9-7. You're going 9-7. You're going 9-7. I'm on Oprah out here giving out these 9-7 records. Speaking of, Carolina Panthers also at 9-7. They're going to be right in the wild card mix. They make the playoffs every other year. It's about that time. I didn't love what I saw in the preseason against the Patriots, but it is the Patriots, so we'll see. And then New Orleans Saints 10-6, and you know what? I honestly wanted to pick them to miss the playoffs, but there wasn't enough justification in terms of just looking at the personnel. The personnel's still there. Only way they miss the playoffs is if Drew Brees takes a step back, and that could happen. They look, fine from what I've seen in training camp and everything, so I can't really predict that right now. But it does seem like they're gonna bounce out. But I just couldn't predict it. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6-10. I wanted to go 7-9. I really did. But damn, y'all look bad in that preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston sacked 5 more times. It just looks like it's not working out. It's not going to work out. It just does not look good. Running back position still miserable. Probably the worst running back position in the league right now. I'm going to say probably it is. And I'm tired of it, and I'm over it. And even with Bruce Arians, I can't pick you to win more than 6 games this year. And then NFC West, Seattle Seahawks 8-8. And I know I'm making the mistake again. I keep picking them to miss the playoffs, and they keep making the playoffs. But, I think the schedule's more difficult. Okay, I think, they're going to have more problems in terms of defensively. I think they're going to miss Frank Clark. Okay, I think that was a big miss there. I know they got Ezekiel Ansah, but he's having his injury concerns right now, and he should be back for week 1, but I think Frank Clark was a better fit for this system. The cornerbacks right now are not good, and I don't think there's anyone coming down the pipeline that's going to be very good. So I think they finally take a step back and miss the playoffs, but the people have had this prediction lately, and they've been wrong. San Francisco 49ers 8-8. Love the offense. Defense still stinks. Next year will be your year if Garoppolo stays healthy. Arizona Cardinals 4-12. Okay, yeah, you guys stink. And we've seen that in the preseason. It's unfortunate because I had faith in Kyler Murray. I thought this could have been a 7-win team, but the offensive line stinks. David Johnson still can't find holes. As a result, Kyler Murray's getting killed. It's just not good enough, not yet for the Arizona Cardinals. And then LA Rams 11-5. So who do I have making the wild card? Because I have a bunch of teams going 9-7. So Cowboys get the first spot, obviously. And then we got the Bears 9-7, Lions, Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, and is that it? Yeah, all right next to them. Right now, today, just because I have a little more faith in them, I'm going to say the Carolina Panthers. Vikings would be my second choice. Bears would be my third. In fact, maybe I should even say Bears over Vikings, to be quite honest with you. But it's just gonna, probably Bears over Vikings, whatever. But I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I'm gonna roll with Cam Newton and the Panthers. My one concern with them is, last year they started off the season so strong and they just fell off. And, is it over? Is the magic gone? Some people are starting to think that maybe this is the last year for Cam Newton, that maybe the Will Grier experiment will be starting anytime soon. Maybe, but, for right now, I'm gonna buy into the Panthers a little bit. And the Falcons, they're right there too. It's so tight for me in this NFC for that wild card spot. A lot of these teams will be better. And then what's ultimately going to happen? 2-3 of these teams get injured, suffer injuries that they can't come back from, and then that's it, right? And then the other 2 or 3 is going to fight for it. So that's what's going to happen. And then also, as you see how I do my records, right? I don't have too many teams getting 3, 4, even 5 wins, because normally what happens in order for that to happen, you suffer injuries, right? The Bengals, they're not a 4-3 win team. I know a lot of people are predicting that. On paper, talent-wise, they're not. If they get a couple injuries, Stanley Dalton, etc., okay, they will be. You look at the Raiders, they're not a 3-win team. If they get a couple injuries, they will be. So injuries are going to play a factor. They're going to play a role. But trust me, I like my predictions this year, and we'll see about them. Now, these are my win-loss predictions. I'll be back this week. It should be this weekend to give you my playoff predictions for the NFL in 2019. So there you go. Those are my win-loss predictions for the NFL 2019. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.